gotta testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day I die, I'ma touch the sky. Gotta testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day I die, I'ma touch the sky. Back when they thought...
26 years old, he was awarded nationally Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year. That's pretty impressive. And now on May 18th of this year, his team of guys and himself are going to travel to Washington, D.C. to accept the National Chamber of Commerce's Blue Ribbon Award for one of the nation's top up-and-coming businesses. So, he's doing 2 presentations for us today. So, if you're excited and enthused about the first presentation, then stick around for the last presentation of the day, because he's the showstopper and show closer for this event. And will you all give a warm welcome to Clay Clark.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about fish today. No, I'm going to... Okay, does everybody have a handout? Does everybody have a handout with them there? No. Okay, we're passing out the handouts. And as we're passing out those handouts, just to give you an idea of what we're going to talk about here, we're going to talk about winning at work. And it's a case study on Jack Welch and GE. And you have to think, well, why would a guy who started DJ service out of a dorm room talk about GE? Well, what happened was, over a period of time, I looked up and discovered there was 50 employees that were working for me. And my wife kept telling me that I was enabling and creating morons through my own weak management. And the creating part was the part that stung. I thought, well, enabling, I can deal with that, but creating morons. And so I started being known at home kind of as the Lord of the Morons. And we had a home office. So you can imagine 20 guys coming to a home office to work every day. It was a little bit exciting. And I got a chance to meet with some mentors, and I spy on great businesses and try to just, I shamelessly copy what great businesses do and try to implement them in my business. And a book that kept getting recommended to me was Jack Welch's book, Winning, which talks about how GE went from a really not struggling, they were just barely growing. It was a company that was established, but it was stagnant. And how they went from that company to all sorts of growth within a relatively short period of time. And so, just as a preface, before we get into this case study, I want to give you some facts about GE that you might appreciate. Jack Welch joined General Electric in 1960. He worked as a junior engineer in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, at a salary of $10,500 annually. Now, I realize with inflation that might be like $50,000 annually, but the point is $10,500 is what he made annually. Welch was displeased with the $1,000 raise he was offered after his first year, as well as the strict bureaucracy within GE, which I think you can relate to. Being auditors, we probably have some strict bureaucracy. So he planned to leave the company to work with International Minerals and Chemicals in Illinois. Welch was then named Vice President of GE in 1972 because they made him an offer that he couldn't refuse. He moved up the ranks to become the Senior Vice President in 1977, the Vice Chairman in 1979. Welch became GE's youngest chairman and CEO in 1981, succeeding Reginald H. Jones. By 1982, Welch had disassembled much of the earlier management put together by Jones. Now here's the good stuff. Welch is credited with coining several effective best practices for management as he worked to grow the company's worth from 1980, this is the year before he took over, the estimated revenues were at $26.8 billion. So this is when he took over, $26.8 billion. And in 2000, the year before he left, the revenues increased to nearly $130 billion. Now I know we have inflation, but essentially he doubled, even with inflation, he more than doubled the growth of the company. And when Jack Welch left GE, the company had gone from a market value of $14 billion to one of more than $410 billion at the end of 2004, making it the most valuable and largest company in the world. And then today, for about $4, we can all buy GE. Okay, but anyway, we're going to forget that part. What we're going to talk about is winning at work. Now, our previous speaker, Dee, spoke about the law of attraction, and I got to thinking about that. And I think as a manager, for anybody here who's a manager, if you're a manager, put your hand up. Maybe if you manage anybody in a manager, okay. If you're a manager, I'm just going to pick on myself here. What happens is there's a part of us that wants to be candid, and there's a part of us that wants to be nice, and there's a part of us that ends up losing because we're always trying to be nice and we get run over by the people that we're managing. And so there's kind of this dissonance that we have. I want to be nice, I want to be respectful, but at the same time, I don't really want to tell them that being late by 10 minutes every day is about ready to drive me crazy.
I gotta testify, come up in the spot looking extra fly.